This is still the AM Club coming to you live from the Mix24 Studios, Oleander Street, East Legon, Accra, Ghana. My name is Miriam Uduakumenta. You're welcome. It's Tuesday, and yes, we're going to get a little techie in the studio. We're about to hook you up on something even more exciting, okay? Something exciting for them tech lovers and for those who are trying to be cool like us. To get to know what is trending, what you need to know in the world of tech. Well, we've got you covered. Today, in our conversation, we're discussing Tech Trends 2026, must-have gadgets and smart innovations. And joining me for the conversation this morning, Mr. Morphix. He's a tech content creator. Good morning. How are we doing? Happy New Year.
Yeah, many happy
I haven't seen you 2026 yet. You haven't sent me any gadget to enjoy myself.
It's on the way.
You haven't. It's on the way.
Yeah.
You said it's on national television.
Yes, I did.
I don't want to hear. Oh.
Me too.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, we're going to get straight into the conversation, and so for me, I want to find out from you, what are the biggest tech trends we should expect in 2026 to dominate the space globally?
Oh, okay. So I think in the way of form of AI, I think we should be expecting more gadgets having AI now. Oh. I think this is something that started way back in 2025, even way back to from 2024. But then we should be expecting most of these gadgets to be having AI capabilities and smart capabilities. Yeah, in this coming 2026. So we should be looking at glasses, watches, and even clips and earbuds, even having AI features in them. Oh. So that is what we should be expecting.
But again, let's stay on the AI conversation a little bit. For those who are not familiar with the conversation of AI, can you delve into that a little bit for us and what it will mean to have such features on your gadgets?
Okay, so AI is basically less like say artificial intelligence. Yeah. So it basically acts as a human assistant in a way. So it can basically do a whole lot of things on your behalf without you having to dig deep or do much of the work. So once AI is incorporated in these devices, then these devices are going to be able to act or do things on their own. Yeah. Let's say just by saying maybe call mommy for me, or let's say send mommy the location and time of meeting at this particular place. Your device should be able to do that, and that will be powered by AI.
Okay, all right. So now, also still on the conversation of AI, to use AI effectively, we've been told that you need to learn prompting and all of that. If I have an earbud that requires me to speak to it or prompt it before I'm able to use it to capacity, what are the skills I need to get to be able to use AI products, so to speak?
Okay, so with smart wearables, or let me say AI wearables, you don't need to do much. Okay. With them, they are programmed to just make your life easy.
Easy, okay.
So what you have to do is just tell it to do this or that. But when it comes to using AI in a way of productivity, office work, or using this AI chatbots, then that is where you have to learn AI prompts. For example, AI can basically do anything, especially with the chatbots now. I design a lot of flyers nowadays, and I don't pay graphic designers to do for me. All I have to do is know exactly what I'm supposed to type in with details, and it will do just that. And I was quite surprised how well it can do when you give it details. Yeah. So you have to learn how to communicate with the AI to details. Let's say, for example, in just mere language, you can say maybe you design a flyer for Mr. Morphix coming to this studio, send a picture to it, add Mr. Morphix photo, maybe your photo, any other picture into it, put this particular name on top of this place, just describe it vividly.
Be specific,
and it will do just that. And even if it's not able, you can just also make adjustments. Oh no, I didn't like the way this is. Just talk to it like you are talking to a normal person. Let's say you are talking to a designer to design specific things. And once you're able to put this prompt appropriately, you'll be surprised the results AI will give you.
These wearable gadgets that we had seen creeping into our system, how long before we get used to, or it settles properly, that we're going to get, we're going to be wearing all these glasses and all these watches and all of these stuff? It started with the watches.
Yes, yes.
And then now I see rings and then glasses. Where is it advancing to, and how soon are we going to catch up with?
Very soon. As a matter of fact, I think the speed at which these devices are coming is going to be there. I think the last time we spoke about something relating to AI here, I said AI,
Is
the
these
future.
glasses?
Oh, yeah. This is just a normal glass. I'm not recording.
It's not recording. Nowadays.
These are just normal Ray-Bans.
Okay.
So as I said the future is going to be a bit louder, because you are going to be talking to their devices more than just interacting quietly with them.
Yeah.
So if you are looking at these AI devices, they are going to come as quickly as possible, like let me say as fast as we can even imagine. So we are going to see more devices we cannot even imagine. Like as I sit here, we can just talk of the rings, the glasses, the watches and stuff. But I don't know, maybe an earring can be AI incorporated or in some way.
Yeah, I've
Let's
seen
say a necklace
one
or
in
something.
China.
Okay.
It's like it's an earbud, but you clip it and it looks like
Earrings,
an earring.
Yes. But that is just an earbud. I've not seen that specific earbud with AI features and all that.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be surprised it comes in that form shortly than we think.
I see. So, like he said, very soon you see people talking on the streets. Used to look like mad people. Now they will not be mad people. They're just talking to their gadgets and their devices.
Exactly.
Right? How's artificial intelligence shaping the gadgets we use today?
I think it's just like we've been discussing now. It's just making the gadgets more efficient, more productive, and more supportive than ever. Let's say in relation to the AI glasses we just spoke of. Let's say I'm a content creator and I want to stream something live. So gone are the days when I have to get gadgets and call myself vlogger and just be videoing myself with the gadgets and all that. Now you can just wear glasses, set it, connect it to your phone, and anything that you see will be streaming to your fellow, your audience. So these are AI capabilities, and it's making content creating easier than ever. Let's say in the offices, just like I said, I can just in second, a minute, design a flyer for my business. I don't have to even hire or go back and forth with a designer or anything. So it's really, really going to make our life very, very easy and productive.
Still on the conversation of making it easy and productive, some have attributed the recent laziness of people to the use of AI. So the new conversation really is AI is making people easy, dumb, and it's posing security risk. So people do know, like, you no longer have your privacy, and it's risky that we're putting in so much of ourselves into this AI. What do you have to say about these?
Yes, I think I've been, should I say a victim, or let me say, I've also been there. So AI is obviously making us a bit lazier than before. Like when I have to, let's say, shoot a content, let's say a video, gone are the days when I would sit for hours trying to script. Now I just put the topic and tell the AI what I want. So it will just script everything for me. And I think these things it's making me feel more reluctant on writing scripts and stuff. I'm just relating all these things to AI. But as you said, in the space of privacy too, see, the more you tell this AI and these devices the things they should do for you, the more you tell them who you are and the things that you have in private. Let's say, for example, when I'm talking to my AI gadget or device, I may just think I'm talking to just a normal device with nobody listening. But you don't know who designed that product, who is at the other end, who is processing this data, what are these data being used for. But I think it's a matter of responsibility than, let's say, being just scared of it or thinking of much of our privacy. You should know that the things that are much, much more private to you shouldn't be discussed with these devices. But then I think it's more or less like more of responsibility than just being fearing the risks of it.
So just be careful the things you discuss with this AI.
Exactly.
I have a friend who has a whole conversation with AI. ChatGPT.
Yes.
A whole conversation. She would say one thing to him, it would respond. They have like a full-blown conversation.
I do that every day.
You do. Should I tell you what came into my head?
Yeah, and you see,
and when I see her do it, I'm like, what are you okay? It's like maybe I'm having a full conversation. Now I don't trust human beings again. I'm having a conversation. He's giving me answers that will help me. I'm like, okay. I haven't tried it. I honestly haven't tried. I find it very absurd. Like, I'm like, we're about to even lose our human touch. Like, you don't want to talk to your friends anymore because AI is searching you out. That's dangerous.
That is why I spoke about responsibility.
Yes.
So it's about you being responsible on what you use the AI for.
Yeah.
It's not just allowing everything that in you to flow on there.
Yeah.
You should just know that these are algorithms and machines just calculating and putting things together just to make you feel good to some extent. So you should just be careful the way you and be responsible. Not everything you should discuss there. And with those you think of discussing, think of it as something that is making you more productive and efficient than just laying out all the privacy or your private information on there.
Yeah. Now, to the demography that we appeal to, young entrepreneurs, which AI or tech innovations should we start focusing on in this year 2026 to help us, help beef up business, really?
Okay, so as you, I think you mentioned this in the beginning of our conversation, AI prompts. I think to me that is more important than prompting, yes, more important than any other aspect. Because just imagine, let's say you have a graphic designing company, and instead of just picking a graphic designer to work and design the flyers and stuff for you to print, you can just hire somebody who can just input this prompt accurately, so that like these AI tools can just generate or design the flyers for you.
Yeah.
So I think AI prompting is something that we should be looking out for. Yeah, the youth, yes.
How can Ghanaian position itself? How can Ghana, position itself to benefit from the global digital economy? I know they're talking about, is it 100 million coders or 1,000 coders? 1,000 coders. 1 million coders.
From Ghana.
From Ghana. And it looked at the time as though we're positioning ourselves to partake in the global advanced economy, so that when they are talking about coders around the world, we have 1 million coming from Ghana. That was an innovation. That's an initiative. Sorry, that made sense, and it looks as though. And I'm saying this carefully because these politicians, I don't trust them. So in my mind, we're placing ourselves. We're being a part of the conversation. We are going to get to a point where the young Ghanaian knows that they're partaking in global conversations. But do we leave it there? How do we partake in the actual conversations happening around the world when it comes to tech and AI?
I think just as I think the beginning, it starts from we actually encouraging people to also learn coding, and we having coders, or let me say engineers in that aspect. But then apart from, after we got in there, you have to also start thinking of designing or having our own kind of apps and AI system that understands our culture better, so it can serve our people way better than what these foreign apps just can serve us. For example, let's say, I think the last time we discussed about, we have a conversation with Siri and Google, and we are trying to find the best place to buy wachi, for example. But then none of them were able to say it better because they didn't understand the word wachi well. Maybe because the way from our tone, or let me say like our accent or something like that. So it gets to be, some of this AI we're picking at us as watch. You understand? So if these AI tools and apps are designed by us, just look at how these apps will understand the way we speak, the way we live, and also take us to that kind of level. You understand? So when we get our people designing AI stuff and apps for us, I think it will actually serve us better.
Really,
in that space too, then they will also be governed by our rules and regulations. Much better. So when you use ChatGPT, under what regulation are you using it? The data is speaking, what rules and regulation is governing it? Is it the US? Is it, what is actually governing it? But it's built by us. Then we will be able to govern it by our rules and our system, and it will better serve us in that way.
I agree with you 1,000%. And having said that, recently, I think recently we saw these videos on social media of young babies dancing and singing
Yeah,
to
yeah, 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 yeah.
some local songs, and it was really exciting. Obviously, one of my sisters does not agree to that that's baby dancing excitement that we've seen, but that is also a way to include ourselves in the global conversation. In initiatives like that, how do we what are the benefits of including ourselves? Because we saw it with the first song. It was an American song, "Don't Play With Me." That was a song that was trending with a baby. Then later we saw Adakatia and all the other songs, Daddy Lumba songs being featured in this. People around the world might have seen this. What role does it play? How do we benefit from stuff like this?
I think basically this babies dancing, dogs dancing, cats singing, na 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 na. You might have heard it somewhere.
I remember that one.
I think all these ones are just purely entertainment and just to entertain us. But look at the other ways we can also use this. If our youth or our economy is also pushing the youth to learn AI coding and the way to use this better, let's say you can just code an AI, or let's say program an AI to make a baby, let's say, promotes baby diapers. Let's say, for example. So instead of the baby coming on the TikTok space dancing and all that, let's say you design a baby who is also like promoting or advertising for a product that are for babies. You understand? So I think we can actually, if we are going to use this to our benefit, then we should learn of making this more productive than just entertainment. So if we understand how it works, then we can use it way better than just dancing babies and all stuff. Yeah.
Still on the conversation of privacy, the glasses came under a lot of scrutiny on social media and on major platforms as to how it breaches the privacy we've been protecting all these years. How do we use it responsibly? Even for people who don't understand it's breaching other people's privacy.
So I think one thing about technology and AI and innovation is that for one reason or the other, it grows faster than the laws and regulation can catch up. So usually it comes, then the law will set in to set rules and regulation to kind of limit the way it works. But more of these glasses and these kind of things, they are actually breaching our privacy in a lot of ways because you wouldn't even know who is recording you. So one thing I think that is the space where Ghana and the youth and we putting ourselves.
The glasses on the screen.
Yeah, sure. That is where Ghana and the youth also being promoted to partake in the design of AI come in, because these things that you see on the screen here, you might even see somebody wearing it, but if you have not had a direct contact with it, you might not even think of it as anything. And some of these glasses, yes, under privacy concerns, have some certain kind of LED light on them, and they blink whilst they are recording.
So you should pay attention.
Yes, you should pay attention to what glass somebody is wearing and what they are doing. If it's having any flashing kind of LED on it, it's probably something that is look out for. But how do we spot this? At where does it stop? When can somebody record what? Unless we Ghanaians also partake in this AI kind of thing before we can set regulation to kind of make people responsible.
Innovation. We should partake in the innovation aspect of the developing of all these things.
Exactly. I think we should, or we are just left behind. It's like be eating or eat others, or part of those who are eating. Yeah, we should. That's the direction the whole economy, like the whole world is going now. And if you don't partake in it, you are left behind.
Common phones, we've not been able to produce them in Ghana.
This is software.
This software.
AI is purely software.
It's purely software. And so we can do it.
Yeah, sure.
Do you have people in Ghana who can develop softwares like this?
Exactly. So yeah, sure. I think currently I'm having, in my business, I'm having a software designed by a Ghanaian. And it's helping me to just check my inventories and accounts and everything. And they are incorporating a whole lot of things to make the business easier. So for example, when somebody purchases something from my shop and we key in and everything, automatically the person will receive a receipt on their WhatsApp. So we don't have to write a physical receipt for you in case you have to return the product or you warranty and everything. You can just make reference directly from the receipt that is sent to you on WhatsApp. And this app was just designed by a Ghanaian. So I'm sure we can.
Okay.
We can.
Okay. So indeed, looking at the conversation of partaking in the development of these softwares that could help make our lives easier, but also most importantly, we being these softwares being governed by us ourselves, put in rules that a Ghanaian can relate to or a Ghanaian can adhere to is very much important. Now, what lessons should Ghanaian learn from reports involving countries like Russia regarding surveillance technology? What's it? Voila.
Russia Baltazar, right? So I think with this, just like we discussed with the privacy and concerns, we should just look out for what the people around us in the space, like let's say when we're talking of the glasses, you should just pay attention to what glass who is wearing at what time. And if possible, you should be able to see the lens of the on top of the glass here. Let's say with this glass, you see this thing here, right here. It could be a camera.
Yes.
But when it's actually a smart camera or like those ones that can record, this will just look like your normal phone camera, but maybe smaller. It will look something like this, but smaller. So when you see a glass with something like this, but smaller on the glass, it's probably an AI glass or something that can record, a smart glass. So we should look out for these devices. I think currently some concept earbuds are even having cameras on them. So people can just be having these earbuds in their ear and they might be recording you or something like that. And with the earbuds, for example, somebody who might be wearing this and just say, hey Siri, record this. So from that time, the person might not be doing anything, but any conversation that you be having, it might be recording it.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Yeah, we should just pay attention to the activity.
Yeah.
For example, if somebody is wearing this glass, most of the glasses are connected to our phones. So if I'm wearing this glass and let's say I'm on my phone, I should be like this. But if I'm on my phone and wearing this glass and I'm looking like this, whilst I'm on my phone and I'll look at you like this, you should know that maybe the person is recording you. Because these glasses they rarely work on their own. If they record, some of them record through your phone. So you control it by your phone. So when I'm wearing this glass and I'm watching you and like my face is facing you, but I'm kind of having like controlling my phone or something, or I'm just wearing not on my phone, but I'm looking at you in like a specific manner, you should be concerned about the way I'm looking at you.
But whatever you do, just look out for those camera looking dots.
Exactly. I think now the most the most concern is recording of videos.
Yes.
So that is what you should be looking out for. The most concern is recording of videos. So, and especially with glasses, when somebody's talking to you, they are looking to you directly. And what best way can you record somebody than what you are wearing? So that is where you should pay attention.
Wow. We said we wanted to grow and do things easier, but now it's breaching our privacy.
I think technology itself is not a problem. It's responsibility. I think technology is neutral, but just like a knife, it's designed to make our life easier, cut things, but a knife can kill.
Yes.
You understand? So it's more about responsibility than just the technology itself.
So responsibility,
responsible.
You have to pay attention to details, be extremely vigilant because anything could be happening at any time and you could be totally, put in trouble just because you didn't know.
And I think going forward to companies, offices should also maybe set strict regulation to people who brings in smart glasses. Let's say, for example, I'm coming into your private space, your company, where sensitive information might be displayed. You should have set regulation that specific wearables should not be brought in those spaces. Yes, I think if company pay attention to this,
that's one thing. But also, for the stubborn ones that we know, are we able to put detectors around to be able to detect such gadgets?
I think if you want to, yes, we will be able to. So I recently traveled to China, and whilst we were just in the queue coming out of the airport, I was spotted and brought out. And they interrogated me, and it was all because from their camera, they could see my temperature was high. Just by watching me in the camera, they could see my temperature was high among the masses. So you can imagine what technology can do. It's only we are kind of lagging behind. So they can see my temperature by watching me through their cameras. And they called me, they tested it to confirm. And once they find out, I think they sent me through a whole lot of whatever before they allow me to go out.
Wow.
Just by watching me in the camera. So just if we have technologies and things placed at the right places, we can detect certain kind of.
China is living in 20.
Oh yeah, 2050.
30 something, 50
50
something.
years, yeah. I was just amazed. I think I should go there again because I missed everything by watching.
China is good.
I was just watching things.
Yeah. No,
So,
China is living way ahead of us.
I know.
Yeah. Interesting. So indeed, we can put in technology as well that they are able to pick up some of these
Exactly.
gadgets.
So it will just.
I think it will be easier that way.
Yes.
Because
this
people
person
will be
might be wearing this.
Yeah. Anyway, before we wrap up the conversation, any final words on this topic and how ready we should be for the next, what do they call it, revolution
of AI and smart glasses.
Yes.
I think we should be looking forward to putting it into the most effective ways to help our businesses, help our daily, day-to-day activities, and to also make our life easier in general. But on top of that, I think these devices are moving from just being in our pockets into being our part of our daily lives. So we should be looking at setting rules and regulation, paying attention, though we should just expect more of these devices coming into a lot of places as possible. Let's say in our TVs, we should be looking out for things that are going to be in our TV, that are going to make our TV smart and all that. Our fridges, basically everything. Let's say, I don't know, you see, we just recently, I think we are having this Hoover or some, how do they, something to clean your room.
To clean your room, yes.
Which have AI capabilities. So they can just clean your room when they notice you are not there. At a specific time, they'll clean your room everywhere and just pack themselves, clean themselves, do everything for you. So before you come home, the place will be clean.
Wow.
So you should be looking at
like that in my house.
So you should be looking at these devices coming, these AI capabilities and smart features coming into a lot of gadgets as possible, and especially in things that we cannot even imagine possible. Yeah, so we should be waiting for those.
Finally, okay. This one is our little pigs. Okay, so name 5 top AI tools that is a must-have for everyone. Everyone must have this 5 AI
must-have tools. Okay, so that should be a must-have for me. Or let me say people who want to be like me, because it's not just for everyone. So you can just pick some of these things out of the 5. So glasses, of course. If you're a content creator and you stream live or you vlog and all those things, you should be looking at getting these recordable glasses, smart glasses, and watches, wearables like this one, as I said. Let's say you can just tell this earbud the prompts to do things quickly than you might even pick your phone to do. And also wearables, AI pins, they have this pin that you can put on your body and they can just record, tell you notifications, give you stuff and all that. So I think I mentioned watches, glasses.
Watch, glasses.
Earbuds. Rings.
The pin and
rings.
The
pin as well, yes.
These things are very expensive.
Oh, not really. I think when you spoke of China, they can make it affordable. So you can't afford the original ones. You have third part, like let's say second to the quality, that are also affordable that you can get. These rings, I think they are going to be much more improved in the coming years.
Yeah.
And they do a whole lot of things than the watches. And I'm sure maybe it might replace the watch. Maybe your next wedding ring will be an AI ring.
Will you also show me when my partner is not around me where they are? If it's part of it, then I like it.
Oh, it's possible. It's possible. It's all a matter of privacy
right?
And concern. Your partner may also be concerned with his privacy and all that.
Alrighty. So, but also the softwares, the tools we use on the soft ones. Which ones would you recommend?
Oh, I think in general, me for example, I can't do without ChatGPT in a day.
Origami.
Yeah, I can't.
Wow.
Every single day.
ChatGPT.
Exactly. So I recently spoke about the software deployments we are having, that we are using for our business and making things easier. I think ChatGPT was just part of the whole thing to make me understand what it actually means. This is a Ghanaian-built software. It doesn't know anything. But then it puts, okay, I'm here and I'm having problem doing this. It will give me everything.
Okay.
So every single day. ChatGPT. And to me, I think I don't use it for the other reasons. I just use it for this practically productivity purposes. So ChatGPT is there a whole lot. We have, depending on what you want to use it for. Gemini is also good with image generation and all that. A whole lot of AI everywhere now. So you should just look at the space you are in, the things that will make you, like the things that you do, and then you find related AI softwares that would
help you.
Help you, yes, with your productivity.
Okay. Well, there you have it. We've given you 5 tools you could use that could make your life a must-have. Some of which right now probably is not your pockets, but you should get when you can. AI tools you could use to make productivity a little bit more easier for you. He recommends ChatGPT. I'm not going to push up against it. I used to push up against it. Now I can't push up against it again. So Gemini also would help you with image generation. It helps with that. That I can attest to it.
Meta too. Meta too is having a Facebook, WhatsApp. Yes, WhatsApp. I think Meta AI is built into your WhatsApp now, Instagram and stuff.
Yes. I haven't used it yet, but I will explore that today. But we want to learn more from you. How do we connect with you in social media handles?
Oh, okay. So basically, Mr. Mofix everywhere. Mr. Mofix everywhere. And you can find me on all social media. Just where you are, just type Mr. Mofix. I'll be there.
You'll be there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So there you have it. Check him out on all social media platforms. Mr. Mofix. Mr. Mofix on all social media platforms. Mr. Mofix, thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And I'm still waiting for my New Year gift.
Yeah, sure.
He says he's going to send me a gift. Once it comes, we're going to share it. Okay, you see it. You not partake, but you see it. But thank you so much for also being a part of the show today. We always tell you that we're learning and growing together, so make sure to stay right here with us. We'll be right back after this.